Hi there, this is David, and welcome to the Grandia series ranked from worst to best. This is a series near and dear to my heart, as you can tell from my little shrine that I have going on over here. I have all my Grandia stuff out and proud. I have loved this game ever since I first got it back on the PlayStation. But then it kind of diverted on over to the Game Boy Color, and then it inexplicably ended on the PS2. However, I thought that in honor of the Grandia 1 and 2 HD Remaster Collection that's coming out, we could rank all 5 of the Grandia games here. And hey y'all, if you are new to the channel, please be sure to smash that like button to show your love, and also subscribe for some more top 10s, news, and reviews. Now, let's start talking some Grandia. Starting off our countdown with number 5 is Grandia Parallel Trippers, released for the Game Boy Color. Now, this is an interesting game. First of all, it only came out in Japan, so you'd better whip out a translation patch and an emulator if you want to play this one. Secondly, it's a side story, where a random high schooler gets sucked into an alternate universe filled with the characters from the first game. And whenever I say filled, I really mean it. This game is suffering from Chrono Cross syndrome and packs your roster with 35 characters, even though you can only use 3 in battle, and your hero, as well as your character of the week, is required. So that really only means that you can only use 1 of those 35 characters. Joy. The battle system is odd. It still uses a turn order gauge where you can see whose turn it is to attack next, and you can still cancel enemies' turns too. But it also introduces a card-based system, which is inherently random. And there's nothing I hate more than randomness in my JRPGs. It does take some getting used to, and it's not a terrible system, though I would still say that it's pretty much unplayable by today's standards. It's kind of like they wanted to make a PlayStation game, but on the NES, and it just doesn't work. Also, the gameplay is much more like the first Legend of Zelda, where you move in boxes, and you'll be platforming and solving puzzles to proceed through the many different worlds. It's good for a lark, but not much else. Number 4, Grandia Extreme, released for the PlayStation 2. Combat has always been one of the best features of the Grandia series. Leveling up your weapons and magic is a whole lot of fun, as are canceling your opponent's attacks and coming up with strategies to use in battle. But that fun battle system was always coupled with a charming storyline, endearing characters, and a lively world to explore. Grandia Extreme, however, only has the combat going for it because in all their wisdom, they made this into a dungeon crawler. And that's fine if that's your thing, but it's not really my thing, and it's particularly painful here because, first of all, there's only one save point in the entire frickin' game, and it's in town. So if you're going through the dungeon and you want to save before a boss, you better have to go and warp out of that dungeon, go into the town, then hope that there was actually a two-way warp so you're able to pick up back where you left off, because sometimes they're only one way, and that means that you have to start all over again. Oh, how fun! Secondly, it features that character of the week rotation, where you're forced to use certain characters that you may not want to in the different dungeons. Thirdly, the dungeons and treasures are random. We all know how I feel about that. And fourthly, you can only equip skills and mana eggs back in town. I don't know why that is, so couple that with the extremely limited inventory, and you got a problem on your hand. And finally, there's only 8 frickin' dungeons in the entire game, but those 8 same dungeons get enhanced 3 different times over the course of the game. So basically that means that you have to go through the same 8 dungeons over and over and over again 3 times total each just to beat it. This is one game that's only for the extreme fans, if you know what I mean. Number 3, Grandia III, released for the PlayStation 2. I have bashed Grandia III in the past, calling it one of the worst sequels ever made, and I still stand by that point. But at least it's a true Grandia game, unlike the previous 2 spin-offs. And being the last true Grandia game made, its combat is the most refined, and the graphics are clearly gorgeous, but the fault lies in the story and the characters. Though, I guess it does start off well enough. It follows Yuki, an amateur pilot looking for adventure, who happens upon an amnesiac, mysterious girl. So the boy and the girl set off on a grand adventure to the big city along with Yuki's mother, Miranda, and the super cute boy toy sailor Alonzo. Ooh! Together, the four of them all have great chemistry, and it is a joy to watch them all travel the world together, especially Miranda and Alonzo. They're just the best, and if this party of four stayed together the entire game, the game would be great! But they don't. And just as quickly as it all began, it all goes straight to hell. It's as if they had like two separate teams writing the story, because the first 10 hours are like typical Grandia fun, while the rest of the game is a big steaming pile. Miranda and Alonzo just up and leave the party for like no reason whatsoever, and they're never heard from again. The whole sense of adventure and the theme of flying is completely just jettisoned out the window, and then it turns into the most generic save the crystals plot that I've ever seen. Even the hallmark of the series, the combat, begins to become a tedious chore as random trash mobs continually hit harder and faster than ever before. Basically, everything becomes a battle of who can cast the all-hitting spell the fastest before the mobs surprise and slaughter you. And there ain't nothing fun about all that. Number 2. Grandia, released for the PlayStation, PS4, Xbox, PC, and Nintendo Switch. I have always enjoyed this game, but I played it again recently and I was pleasantly surprised as to how well it has held up over the years. The coming-of-age story with the best friends Justin and Sue that soon evolves into a love story between Justin and Fina is just so well done. Compared to the other games in the series, the battle system can be a bit slow and somewhat old school. However, at the time of its release, I can assure you, this was groundbreaking. Taking nods from the renowned Saga series, where you had to level up your skills and magic separately from your character's level, was a super unique addition and a lot of fun. But the combat, that is what put this game on the map. Nothing like it has ever been seen before. I mean, you could cancel your opponent's moves. Really? That was strategic and the first of its kind. Combine that with a novel story about adventuring and not saving the world, well, at least, in the first disc, along with well-done voice acting and villains that you just love to hate, really made Grandia stand out from the crowd. The world itself is filled with mysteries, and I can still feel the exhilaration whenever I get in the boat and left Parm for good, or the goosebumps that I got for the first time they climbed over the end of the world and saw what was beyond the horizon, or the way that I felt whenever Sue decided to go her own way and grow up to be a great lady. There are just so many wonderful, moving, emotional moments stuffed into this masterpiece, I cannot just pick one. And finally, number 1, Grandia II, released for the PS2, PS4, Xbox, Sega Dreamcast, PC, and Nintendo Switch. Here we have the pinnacle of the Grandia series, starring Ryudo, a geohound who's essentially like a mercenary for hire, as he takes on what seems to be a standard, normal job, escorting the songstress Elena to some nearby ruins. Only in true JRPG fashion, everything that could possibly go wrong does, and Ryudo is caught up in an adventure bigger than himself to save the world. While the story is still lighthearted, it does tackle more mature subject matter than its predecessor. And just like the first game, humor is injected into even the most trivial NPC conversations, and you'll be laughing the whole time through. The battle system is much faster and more refined with added bits of customization, and in the previous games, your skills would level up in accordance to how often you use them, but instead here, you're given battle and magic coins, which you can spend as you wish to level up your varying skills. It is a slight change, but it makes all the difference in the world in reducing the tedium involved in grinding skills and magic. The game is also one of the shortest in the series, but that isn't a bad thing. I personally love a shorter game, because that means that it just gets to the point. There's not a whole lot of fluff, filler, and fetch quests. And Ryudo, he is refreshing. He is a take-no-prisoners kind of JRPG hero, kicking ass and taking names. He doesn't have time for your courage is the magic that turns dreams into reality bullshit. If someone needs to get murdered, he's the man for the job, and I love him for that. So that's it for the Grandia series ranked. How would you rank the series? And let me know what your favorites are. Let's get a discussion going on here and let's all talk and chat about it because I'm always in the comments too. And if you like what I do here on the channel, please head on over to the Patreon and sign up for early access to my videos as well as behind the scenes photographs. The link to it is over in the video description. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.